the first step in our general overall strategy for solving an equation is to simplify both sides completely. In this example, that meant applying the distributive property of multiplication over addition to distribute the negative 2 multiplied across the quantity u minus 6 to give me negative 2u plus 12. And so at that point, now if I write the left-hand side of this equation as well, now we're at a place where all the arithmetic we can do on one side of the equation or the other is all done. Right? The expression on the left-hand side is completely simplified. The expression on the right-hand side is completely simplified. There's nothing else I can do. There's no more like terms that I can combine with one another. So each side is as simple as it's going to get. So what do we do next? If we want to get the variable by itself, the first prerequisite to that is it needs to all be on one side of the equation, one side of the equal sign. So we needed to make sure that all of my u's were on one side or the other. And what was the strategy? How do we actually accomplish that moving of all the u's to one side? When we're getting all of our variable terms to one side, we're always going to be adding or subtracting to do so. Never divide by a variable, for example. That introduces all kinds of possible complications. But what we ended up doing here is we ended up not adding 18 to both sides. Now, we could have done that. But if our priority is to get all the variable terms onto one side, we chose, on Monday of last week, to add a variable term to both sides. Namely, to add one that would cancel out this negative 2u on the right side and combine together with its like term on the left-hand side to ensure that my u's are only in one place. There are no u's left over on the right-hand side after I add 2u to both sides. So when I do that, how many u's do I end up with on the left-hand side?
3.
I end up with negative 3 for negative 5 plus 2, again using the distributive property of multiplication over addition backwards. So I end up with all of my u's on the left-hand side, and on my right-hand side, I get just a single number, number 12. So all of my u's are now on one side of the equation. The other side of the equation is only a number. And then from there, what's our strategy to get that u by itself? What are we doing? I call that last step in the process unwrap the variable using the reverse order of operations, or what we called last time SADMEP. Worry about all your addition and subtraction first. So in this case, that would mean adding 18 to both sides and giving me, negative 3u is equal to 30. And then only after all that addition and subtraction is done do we then worry about the division that's necessary. Divide both sides by negative 3. That gives me my solution. 30 divided by negative 3, u equals negative 10. So this 3-step process down here are the 3 big categories of steps that we will always take, at least in this first half of the course. In this first half of the course, these 3 steps will always get us from a linear equation, no matter how unsimplified the arithmetic may be, no matter whether the variables are on both sides in the beginning or whether they're just on one side, no matter what, this will always get us to a solution to our equation. So simplify both sides completely. That's what we did here at the top. Then collect all the variable terms to one side by adding or subtracting. So here I added 2u to both sides to make the u's go from both sides to just the left side. And then, reversing the order of operations, will unwrap the value of that variable.